All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. So I was really inspired this morning as I was thinking on my business. And I was thinking about how right now in the year 2025, it feels like there are so many barriers to entry when it comes to starting to make money online. And there's so many complexities where so many people are paralyzed, they're overanalyzing, they're overthinking, and they're not focused or empowered to do the things that really move the needle. And it got me thinking back to when I was first getting started and how I had my very first six-figure year, how I was not worried about any of the things that people worry about now. And literally, when I think back, how simple it was to hit my first six-figure year. And even before I had my first six-figure year, even the times when I was earning 4,000 a month, 6,000 a month, and so forth, I remember how simple it was. And I think back to like my thought process, and I think back to like how I did things. And again, I didn't have a fraction of the worries that so many people have now when it comes to the barriers, the complexities, the overthinking, the overanalyzing. And being online for as long as I've been online, I understand like how the complexities can hold you back, because even after all of my years, there are times where I want to worry about the algorithm, or I want to worry about things that are literally so outside of my control. And I have to remind myself that if I want it to be easy, it in fact really can be easy. And so today what I'm going to do is break down for you the first year that I made six figures, and it was $108,000 to be exact. And I'm going to break down exactly what I did and what it looked like. So the very first thing is that I marketed and I sold a high ticket product. That product was $1,000. That's how much I got paid every single time someone decided to purchase the opportunity that I was selling at that time. All right. The second thing that I did was I decided, all right, Steph, what did you decide? I decided that the year ahead of me, I was going to make six figures, because for the very, very first time, it dawned on me how simple it could be by just simply doing the math. And so with step number 3, as you can see, I did the math, right? And clearly all it took was 100 customers purchasing my $1,000 offer for me to be able to make $100,000 that year. So when I realized, number one, the math made sense, it was only 100 customers. Like, to me, that just screamed simple. It screamed like I had all of the answers, to figure out how to actually get there. The fourth thing that I did is I decided upon my platform. Before this year, I was going back and forth between YouTube and Facebook. I used Facebook a whole lot to build a network marketing company that I had been involved in. But for all of my digital marketing and internet marketing and online business type endeavors, I always use YouTube. And so I decided to come back to YouTube and to really decide to rock steady with YouTube. Now, the reason I have this outline or highlighted is because this factor right here is what allowed it to be so easy for me. As you can see, right, I was never a YouTuber. So even though I used YouTube, I was never trying to be a YouTuber. Like, I didn't even really know like a YouTuber as a title even existed. Because for me, YouTube had always just been the platform where I could create content and attract people that would be interested in the things that I sold over the years. I never considered myself as someone that was fancy or over the top or used green screens or gimmicks or like anything that was like overly strategic or tactical. I was the girl that just showed up on YouTube, started sharing my journey and inviting people to buy the things that I was selling, and the place where I was able to make my very first sale online on day number 3. So I never bothered with the algorithm. Remember, I got started during a time where there were no keyword research tools. There literally were no tools. I don't even think we had thumbnails at that time. YouTube was just a search engine. YouTube was just a place where average, ordinary people were creating content and leveraging the platform to share our journey, tell stories, and if we wanted to sell the things that we wanted to sell. So I never bothered with the algorithm or understanding the algorithm. I literally just showed up daily to share my business and to help others who were looking for such a business, right? That is what I did. So it's like every single day when I had an idea or I had a thought or I had an inspiration or I had something I wanted to share, I just turned on my camera and I just let it rip. So before like riffing was a thing, I was riffing in order to grow my business. Scrappy storyteller and promoter is what I considered myself. When I look back, that's exactly what I was. I was a scrappy storyteller. I used my real experiences. I used my results. I used my excitement. I used everything about like my life and what I was experiencing thanks to this industry and thanks to the opportunity that I was selling, and I promoted it on the back end of that. And literally almost every single day I was creating content on YouTube. Sometimes it was uploaded content and other times it was live streaming. At that time, that's all that was available outside of running ads, and I didn't run any ads. Right? Number 5, I also built an email list of those that were interested. So as I created content on YouTube and people found my videos and were interested in learning more about what I was selling, about that opportunity, they would go to my website and opt in to learn more. So I began to build an email list of people that were very targeted. They were only opting in because they were interested in learning more about the opportunity that I was selling. And the reason I knew that is because in every single one of my videos, I was very open, very honest, very transparent about what I was selling. And oftentimes I even did like mini presentations in my videos. So again, that's how I knew that I was building a very, very hyper targeted email list of people. Number 6, I then sent emails daily. So as a part of my daily method of operation, I sent emails every single day. What did I talk about? The exact same things I would talk about in my videos. I would share my journey. I would share my results. I would share my experiences. I would just, again, share my world, right? And again, on the back end of that, make it relevant to that opportunity that I was selling. When I go back and I look at the emails that I sent back then, I was sending emails, talking about like taking my daughter to the mall, spending, a few $100s at the mall and then leaving the mall, realizing that I made a $1,000 sale, right? I would talk about being a softball mom and how oftentimes while I was at the softball field, my business made sales for me. I educated people. I inspired people. I informed people. I empowered people. And on the back end of all of that information, right, I would lead them to what it was that I was selling. Now, here's where it gets really, really fun. And I really hope that you're seeing how this all comes together and literally how simple all of this is. At no point was I ever worried about sending too many emails for fear of spamming people. And at no time was I ever worried about if I uploaded videos every single day if YouTube was going to ding me or penalize me. I never once worried about any of those things because the way that I looked at it was the only thing separating me from making the sales that I wanted to make was putting out more content that would connect with people that wanted to know what I had to offer. Like, to me, that is as simple as all of that was back then. I hate the fact that all of this education and miseducation around the algorithm and how the platforms work and what's going on in the platforms, how it paralyzes people. I hate the way it paralyzes me. I hate the way it gets me overthinking and overanalyzing my next step. Like, I'm telling you, I am getting back, right, to the old way of creating content because at the end of the day, the algorithm doesn't buy from us. The platforms don't buy from us. I think it's a great gift to be able to have a platform like YouTube that's completely free, that allows us to throw up content that can make us money. But at the end of the day, the way that we make money is by creating content that calls in, connects, and speaks to people that want what we have to offer. People at the end of the day. So if we can just all remember, no matter what platform you choose, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you can use this exact same framework that I used to build my first 6-figure year, right? You can use this exact same methodology, the exact same mindset, the exact same strategy on any platform because it reminds you that you're keeping people first. Now, number 7 and number 8. Some people bought directly from my videos. So there were many, many mornings and many days where someone found a video and decided to buy right after watching that video, right? Or watching one video and then going on to binge more of my videos and then deciding to buy after that. Like imagine just having these $1,000 sales roll in after people just consume like one of your posts or one of your videos. That's what happened to about 20% of my customers. And I know this because I tracked my results that year. At the end of the year, I went back and I looked at how many people joined my email list and how many sales came directly from my email list. And that's how I was able to get these numbers, right? The other 80-ish% bought from my emails, meaning they found me on YouTube, they wanted to know more, they opted in, and then sometime from the time they opted in through the end of the year, all right, they made a purchase. So do you see how important building an email list is and not just relying upon the socials or relying upon your content on any platform? So important to build an email list because it's another layer or another way that you get to build know, like, and trust and to be there when the timing is right for your customers, right, that are going to buy. A mindset that I have in my business when I generate leads is that it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. And so that's why I adapted the strategy of sending emails on a daily basis. All right. I can go deeper into this and I probably will on more videos, but the fact of the matter is when you create these narratives or you create this drama that if you send emails daily, that's spam. That is false. That is absolutely not true. Because if that were true, then how could companies like Macy's, Bath and Body Works, and many of these major retailers, major corporations, and major brands, how could they get away with sending emails every single day, oftentimes multiple times a day? Take a company like Fashion Nova, Shein, Temu. Not only do they send an email every day, they send multiple emails a day, right? Why? Because it's profitable. Because they simply make more money by meeting people, right, at the time, right, of somebody wanting to purchase something. And so again, 80% of my results that year came from having an email list. Okay. Now, every single day, the agenda was clear. Again, this is a really, really important point. I believe in the power of one when you're trying to, get to consistent results. You're trying to get to your first six-figure year, or you're trying to build a really strong six-figure foundation. It's one thing to hit six figures one year, and it's another thing to build a six-figure foundation where you scale beyond there. That's where I stayed stuck in my business. Is I found it really, really hard to scale, and it's because I didn't always implement the power of one. So I know that this, in fact, does work. So because I knew that I was only focused on one high ticket product that paid me $1,000 per customer, I knew that I was looking for 100 customers or more that year. Every single day, the agenda for me was very, very clear. I ran strategies and I ran tactics that led to sales. So I was always tracking where I was for the month. I knew how many customers I needed to acquire every single week or every single month. And if I looked up and I realized that I was off my mark, I would run promos, or I would do extra things, or I would create opportunity to make it easier or to make it make more sense for people to buy from me. Isn't that what major corporations do? Isn't that what companies that do buy one, get one and send out coupons? Isn't that what they do? Right? It's a part of their marketing strategy. And so because I wasn't chasing shiny objects, because I wasn't juggling multiple offers, it allowed me every single day to stay true to my agenda and to assess my business, to know where it was and to know like what I had to do to get the outcome that I wanted. Like that's exactly how I set my sights on six figures, but ended up making $108,000 that year. All right. So my marketing was easy because I believed in what I was selling and why. I knew it gave people a fast business and a direct way to earn big money profit. So I knew why I was selling it. I knew why it made sense for me. And I knew that if I shared that, it would make sense for other people. Right? I allowed people to realize by making one sale, you put $1,000 in your pocket, right? Compared to a lot of the lower ticket things that they could do, or relying upon MLM, network marketing, downlines, sidelines, and all of those individual things. So I just simply repeated that solution in everything that I did. And what did I end up doing? I ended up attracting people that were essentially like, hey, Steph, like I want those $1,000 sales too. I want a ready-made business too. Like I want an opportunity that I could just jump into that's pretty much already set up and then I can begin running with. So here are some takeaways. Okay. Number one, the easier you allow all of this to be, the easier it gets to be. When I think back to that first year of earning six figures and even the years prior to that, when making sales felt so effortless, it is because I allowed it to be easy and I sold that to other people as well. They could see through my marketing, not only what I believed in, but so many people saw themselves in what it was that I was doing. They believed that they could do what it was that I was doing. And believe it or not, that's exactly what got my attention when I was first getting started. I believed the people that I saw on YouTube, I believed I could do what they were doing. So it allowed me to get out there very, very quickly and to do what they were doing. And that's exactly why I made my first sale on day number 3, 28 sales in my first 30 days, and why selling opportunities and selling products online for me during my initial years when it should have been so hard because I was new, that's why it was easy. All right. So again, the easier you allow it to be, the easier it just gets to be. Number 2, if you want easy, position yourself for it. I truly believe that being the customers or being the buyers that you want in your business first, that you end up setting yourself up and positioning yourself to call them in. So I've never been the customer. I've never been the buyer to ponder on something for months and months and months or years and years and years. I've never been the person to sit on someone's email list or to scroll and to watch things happening, right? Instead, I was always the person that, for the most part, like knew what I wanted so that when opportunities did present themselves, I knew whether or not they made sense for me. And because I was always a fast action taker with involving myself and then getting started and marketing, my marketing reflected that. Therefore, I ended up attracting a lot of people that operated the same way. They could feel the sense of urgency. They wanted to get set up. They wanted something fast moving, right? They believed in themselves or they believed in me, and that allowed them to believe they could do it too. And they were fast action takers. And so I will honestly tell you, one of the best things that you can do if you want like a fast moving business or you want to attract buyers is that you be that person first. Like you be that decisive action taker. You be that fast mover. You be the person that gets started, doesn't second guess yourself, doesn't have shiny object syndrome, comes in, gets sets up, and then gets out there and begins to share your journey, right? With a sense of urgency, because believe it or not, that energy will be felt through your content, through your posting, and you will attract people that begin to see themselves in what you do as well. To me, that is how this gets to be easy. The ease is not really in what you're selling. Like that's a factor, but so much of the ease comes from how you actually show up. Like that's exactly why I didn't take the time to, actually, I will tell you how this video came to be. I was outside reading the Bible, Psalms 1 to be frank with you. And I thought I was going to read more for the day, but that was all that I had. Like after I got finished with Psalms 1, I was bawling, I was praying, and I was like meditating on my business towards the end. And it just came back to me like, Steph, like just get out there and share your story more, share your journey more, talk about how you hit six figures for the first time. Like allow it to be easy for other people so that more people can not just see like what you're selling, but they can start seeing themselves in your journey and how you've done what you've done and how you started as a nurse and all the individual things. And I took out my phone after I was done and I just started typing out these notes, and these notes were on a Gmail email. And I said, you know what? Like, I'm not going to try to finesse this. I'm just going to copy paste these notes into Google Docs and we're just going to let it rip, because I really don't want to present. I want to teach you and share with you like how I've been able to achieve the things that I've been able to achieve online, and how I know that by falling back and making things simpler for myself moving forward, it's just going to help me fast track the goals that I have for my business now. All right. So number 3, don't overly be consumed with things out of your control. So when I think about this, I think about like being consumed with the algorithm and like what's going on the individual platforms. Are hashtags working? Do we use tags? Should I upload a video every single day? If I upload videos, multiple times a week, will one wash out the other? Like just overly worrying about things that for the most part, they're out of your control. And if you can realize that at the end of the day, people are going to decide to buy from you based upon the content that you put out there. And I myself am going back to a belief that I've had about my content that started many years ago. And that simply is, algorithm or no algorithm, the people that are meant to find my content, they're going to find my content. Like my buyers are out there and they will in fact find me if I do my part and just simply create the content. Now, this doesn't mean that we haphazardly just do things and throw crap against the wall and, show up in a way that's not conducive to growth. It means, yes, we are thoughtful, we are mindful, but we're not micromanaging our actions. We're not sitting on an idea and taking months and months and months for that idea to be manifested into one stinking piece of content, right, to help us grow our business. But instead, we're going to have the inspired ideas. We're going to welcome in the inspired ideas, and then we're going to be quick to take action on those ideas and get them out there. Because I just truly believe, like in this instance, I didn't get this idea during a moment of prayer for me to sit on it and try to figure out how to finesse it. I believe that I got that idea because it was meant for me to create the idea in real time and to get it out there as fast as I possibly can, because someone is out there waiting to hear such a message. And believe it or not, that's the kind of sense of urgency I had when I had my first six-figure year and in the few years before that. I had my six-figure year just a couple of years into my business. But before that, when I was making 4 figures a month really, really consistently, and I began to rise to the higher 4 figures a month, again, I just always allowed it to be easy. I allowed my business to be driven by the inspired ideas that I had. I created very simple content. I posted those content online, and I allowed what I posted, right, to essentially be my advertising, my marketing, and to be my little sales pieces. And they've made me a lot of money. So I'm telling you, like this strategy, this mindset, right? It'll really, really help you if you want things to be easy. All right. So again, don't be overly consumed with the things that are out of your control. Instead, really decide to dial in and like hunker down on the things that are within your control, like creating content, building your email list, emailing your list on a regular basis, showing up for the people that you want to serve and that you want to help, talking about that thing that you're so excited about that you know more people need to know about. Those are the things that are within your control. All right. Know that you have a job, right? Posting, emailing, conversions, and do that. And that is what I did, right? Again, the year that I made my first 6 figures and the years before that is I was consistent with creating my videos. I was consistent with emailing my list, right? I was consistent with doing things that would lead to conversions, like going live on YouTube. There were so many times where I did not want to go live after I told myself early in the day that I was going to go live that night. And because I pushed through anyways and went live, several instances, right, where I ended the live stream making an additional $1,000 sale. And in some instances, like multiple $1,000 sales, all because I went live and I met my ideal buyers, right? Like at that time. Like you've got to be so hungry and to realize that like with every action that you do with intention, that a sale could be right on the back end of that waiting for you. Right? The next aha is to be the product and be the guide. No one says you've got to be an expert. No one says you've got to be a guru. No one even says you got to have it all figured out. If you can just have this one thing, right? You can do everything I've broken down here. And that one thing is having a product or having something where in your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, more people need to know about this. If you have that feeling like I had, over that $1,000 product, that is what drove me every single day to create a piece of content and to write an email to make sure that more people knew like how this was changing my life, like what this was doing to my bank account, like what this was doing to our family, right? How I was growing my business. Like I believe more people knew that such a thing existed. And the way that I did that is that I was the product, right? Like I was the product of that opportunity. And through my content, I was the simple guide. I was just simply guiding people to a very, very smart decision. Again, if they wanted the same kind of business that I was repping. The highest priority in my business, when I go back and think about it, which is why it's the highest priority now, is that even though people have considered me a guru, I've mentored people, I've coached people, like really nice things have been said about me. And I've helped a lot of people make their first dollars online and even go on to replace incomes and to build six-figure businesses. But my highest priority has always been to just simply share my journey and to inspire and empower the person who sees themselves in what I am doing and wants it. That is the purest way that I know to build my business, with complete transparency and being so ethical. Because I'm never showing up to tell someone they're going to make, X amount of dollars, or promising income, or anything like that. Right? I'm not even showing up to tell people like what to do. I've always showed up sharing like what's worked for me and how I've gotten certain results, and like how I had a $1,000 day or how I had a $3,000 day. And through that, I get to inspire and empower the person that sees themselves in what I'm doing and the results that I'm getting, and they want that for themselves. And then they self-elect to get started, because that's how I've always made decisions in my business. I've been inspired by what another person has done. And essentially it's like, I want like what they've achieved. I want that kind of business, right? And so that I will position myself to have that kind of business by modeling what they've done. So believe it or not, like that can be one of the easiest ways to grow your business. So many people think they can't make money in the make money online space because they haven't made any money. Well, how do you ever make money if you don't go out there and position yourself to make money? And so this is the element that so many people are missing. You just simply share your journey. So that's what I've done all along, is share what I'm excited about and then be a tour guide to invite other people into it. So again, you don't have to be a guru. You just got to be a tour guide, right? So if you yourself are looking for such an opportunity, maybe you want to go from wherever life has you right now. Maybe you are working a full-time job, but you believe you're called for something more, much like I was when I got on this journey. Maybe you're like myself. You're in your 40s, you're in your 50s. I'm not in my 40s, so I'm in my 50s. I'm 51. But you believe maybe that you're behind. I have attracted and helped so many people that are like, I'm approaching retirement and I know that I don't have all of the funds. For lack of better words, they feel behind. They feel like they're not going to be able to eat during retirement. There are some people that just simply want more. They don't see themselves working for the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years, and they're coming online searching for opportunity. If you're looking for a way to get started and the idea of a turnkey or a franchise-like system that you can follow that also has mentorship sounds appealing to you, that's exactly what I offer in my business to this very day. So unfortunately, right, the $1,000 opportunity that I was rocking, that helped me have my first six-figure year, and I went on to earn six figures a year for a total of 3 years with that opportunity before the plug was pulled. And that's a whole nother story. But I've always been driven and called to those kind of opportunities because they allow someone like myself, maybe like you, to be able to get started fast. The idea of a franchise, the idea of a turnkey system or business where you can just simply invest a sum of money and have a ready-made operation, a ready-made system with everything that you need to get started up and to begin making sales quickly has always appealed to me. It's the very first way that I started making money online before I even knew like that kind of model was a thing. And so I was always very, very attracted to that style of business. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there, right? They don't even know they're looking for such a thing. But when they hear it, it's attractive to them and they take action. That's why I've been able to amass so many customers by offering this, because I allow them to see that there is actually an easier way. As you see on the screen, everything is included. The system, the $500 ready to sell income stream, the training. We have a daily posting system. So when it comes to you creating content on your chosen platform, Not only do we have a training system that will teach you all of the platforms and all of the formats and all of the ways that you can post on those platforms, but we also have a system in place so you can actually plug into that and on a daily basis just go to it and it will give you your daily content. It will give you your posts. It will give you video ideas. It will give you email ideas. So like if you're like, Steph, I want to replicate, the system or the process that you used to have your first 6-figure year, the great news is you can without ever having to sit back wondering what to post or what to say. And I myself, again, I am a product of this system. Not only did I invest in the system as like just a third party person, right? Like I purchased into a turnkey business, but then over the past year, I myself made it better by using all of my years of experience to give it more so that people really understand how to do like everything that I broke down here in a very, very systematic, organized way. Right? So it's great to have an opportunity, but if you don't know what to do and you don't feel like it's step by step, or you feel like you're just buying something that has a bunch of information, or it's just a course and you're like, well, what do I do after it? This guides you step by step. Again, much like investing into a franchise system, right? Where again, everything is organized. And then you also get weekly support. All right. So this helps you to get set up and to post and start earning your first $500 sale. Literally, like I'm not promising you're going to make your first $500 sale within a week, but you can be set up ready to start posting and marketing within a week. And there have been many people that have come in, and even over my many years, right, follow my instructions and be able to make their first sales very, very quickly. And so if this inspired you, I will drop my information down below, or you can just simply go to www.myturnkeybusiness.com to learn all about this and to get started. And unlike the high ticket product, right, that was a $1,000 product. This is not a $1,000 product. It is a $500 product. And what I love about this price point, again, these are all little factors that have made such a difference for me over the years, is I believe in like every single factor, and the price point is something that feels so good for a few reasons. Number one, $500 is like nothing to know that you are starting a business that has everything that you need. A whole business, right? That can make you 6 figures a year. So clearly the return on investment, like we see it, right? Like we get it. It makes sense. And if you're anything like me, like you come into such an opportunity, like desiring to make 6 figures, so you can actually judge the fact, okay, that's an easy investment to make. Okay. It's very doable for someone that is thinking business. But on the other side of that, once you're inside and you begin to create content and post, and you begin to attract and call in those customers that want the same thing, that see themselves in what you're doing, and you begin to bring in those $500 sales, they stack beautifully. 4 sales, whether that's 4 sales in a week or 4 sales in a month, that's $2,000. Like what difference can that make in your life? If you can make 4 sales in a month, right, then you can use our system to help you grow and scale and learn how to make 4 sales in a week. And that was the turning point for me when I realized, right, that $2,000 a week consistently was 6 figures a year. That's the message that I began to share when I had my first 6-figure year. And that's what inspired so many people to position themselves to go for it. So I'm telling you, all of these factors, they add up, they make sense, and they allow it to be easy. So I really hope this breakdown has helped you, inspired you, empowered you. And if you do see yourself in what it is that I do, and you're like, oh my gosh, Steph, I can type something on a Google Docs and I can read it. Like, I didn't know it could be this simple, right? Go to myturnkeybusiness.com, learn all about this, see what's all involved, see everything that you get, see the bonuses that I'm offering right now, and decide to get started. And every single week we have office hours where you can pop on, ask questions, get guidance, and just simply know that you're not in this all by yourself. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in my next video, and I hope to see you inside of the community. Bye-bye.